John Zimmerman with Upper Creek Angler, and we're continuing our work through Steve Skuce's book, Grayling Flies. This fly is number 46 from the book, the Gammy Parasite shrimp. We'll begin the pattern with a number 10 straight-eye grub hook from Partridge of Redditch. And we'll take some flat lead wire and weight the body of this. It's not going to have a bead. Make sure it gets down quickly. And some unusable scissors in other locations to snip out the back of the lead down here. Just massage that in place. I'm using some brown thread, and the first thing we'll want to do is create a little thread dam at the front and back of the hook so that this lead has nowhere to go when we start to wrap over it. This fly only has a few materials, some scud back. I'm using some thin skin and a clear mottled color, 2 colors of dubbing, and some fine gold wire. And you'll need a brush of some sort. I'm going to use my homemade Velcro brush to brush the legs out of this fly when we're done. Now we'll go back to the bend down here and tie in our other useful materials. So we're going to tie in some fine gold wire. This is UTC in size small. Just go in and get a small strand of it. I always tie in my materials in reverse order from what I'm going to be using them. So we'll tie this in as our last material to be used. Normally I'm a lot more conscientious about tying in ribbing materials, but all of this is going to be covered up by dubbing anyway, so I'm not overly concerned with it. I have prepared a thin piece of thin skin for tying it in at a point. Tie this in, trying to keep it on the very top of the hook, and then just wrap that back all the way down to where your thread left off. Okay, make sure you're going to have enough to cover the top of the fly. We're good to go. Now we're going to tie in our body materials. This is Dave Whitlock's Life Cycle dubbing, and this is a color called Bleached Ginger. It's a really good color for lots of pale flies. So you don't want to tie this in like deadly tight, because you're going to be brushing a lot of this material out at the end to create your legs for these scuds. So if you purchase the book, you'll see the reason that it's called the Parasite. These scuds can get some parasites on them that turn out to be quite orange, and so we're going to tie in a little orange spot right in the middle of the fly. It's not a whole lot, but just enough to signal the parasite. And this is UV orange ice dub, and we'll return to the bleached ginger here. This fly will really come to life on us when we start pulling out the legging material. Start pulling out the dubbing to create the legs. Pull the scud back over. I lied, this is not scud back, this is thin skin. Make sure that it's fairly evenly. This stuff is super slippery, so it will slip around on you if you are not careful. One thing that I don't do with I tend not to cut this out until I'm happy with the ribbing, because it will scoot around on you if you're not careful, like it's doing right there. Once you get the ribbing tied in, then you can go in and cut the head of this out, just in case it slips around on you so much that you need to reset. If you cut this out ahead of time, you'd have no way to really reset. So I'm going to go in and grab the copper wire. I'm sorry, this was gold wire. Copper wire in a gold color. Okay, now I'll cut this out with my good scissors, and I will go in and cut this out with my crappy scissors. We'll just form a little head right here. And take a little spot of varnish on the thread. Finish this fly off. Last thing that we have to do to call this fly complete is to go to town on it with a dubbing brush, or as I'm using here, just a little piece of Velcro attached to a popsicle stick. Just give it a rub out. So what we want to have happen is we want these legs to come down. So once you are comfortable that you've got legs coming off in both directions, then you can call this fly complete. This is the Gammy Parasite shrimp, fly number 46 from Steve Skuce's book, Grayling Flies.